Hi everyone, I am Ms.V.ATCHAYA, Assistant Professor of Geology, A.D.M. College for Women, Autonomous Nagapattinam. Today we will discuss about the physiography of Tamil Nadu. What is the physiography of Tamil Nadu? We will discuss in the coming slides. Shear zones. First our topic is shear zones. Shear zone is nothing. Shear zones are zones of intense ductile deformation that are thin relative the lateral extent. Shear zones like faults typically show offsets of older structures, but unlike faults, they lag through moving brittle fractures. In practice, faults and shear zones are closely related. Many major structures that are faults at the earth surface probably connected with the ductile shear zones at a depth. And in the transition, it is common to find the composite zones that display combinations of brittle fractures and ductile flow. At outcrop and microscopic scale, through ductile shear zones are characterized by planar and linear fabrics. Grain size reduction is also common. When it was originally described, the metamorphic rock types produced by this grain size reduction was thought to be product of brittle grinding, that is cataclast, and the rock was named mylonite from a Greek word for milling floor. We now know better the fine grain size is the product of dynamic recrystallization, the breakdown of the original mineral grains and the growth of new resulting from the accumulation of defects that results from extreme plastic deformation. The southern granular terrain. Southern granular terrain is the very important topics of shear zones. The southern granular terrain, that is commonly known as SGT, is fundamentally defined by major crustal scale shear zones and the tectonic blocks they separate. These zones are critical to understanding the state's geological evolution, particularly during the Neoarchean to Neoproterozoic Cambrian periods. The major tectonic blocks and shear zones, the southern granular terrain, that is SGT, is a mosaic of crustal blocks separated by significant shear or suture zones, which are essentially ancient for highly deformed belts marking tectonic boundaries. First one, shear zones, that from Tamil Nadu, we specifically go through this topic of especially of Tamil Nadu. The first shear zones topic is related to Tamil Nadu. The first shear zone is Moyar Bhavani shear zone system. That is Moyar Bhavani Athur shear zone system. That is commonly known as MBA. Is at location that is called also trend. Trend is generally east to west, to west northwest, to east south east. The trend is located this side. Next significance, it is often considered the major tectonic boundary, that is a suture zone, separating the Dharwar Craton, that is northern block, from the southern granular terrain, that is SGT. Nature, it is a complex long-lived system, typically described as a steeply dipping crust with a significant that is a dextral, right lateral strike slip components in the faults. Next, lithology. Lithology also important for geology, characterized by high strained rocks like mylonites, phyllonates and retrograde charnokites. Charnokite retrograded to hornblende biotechniques, that is a charnokite. Charnokite is retrograded to hornblende biotechniques. Second shear zone from Tamil Nadu is Palagat Kaveri shear zone, that is PCZS. Location, that is a trend, a major regional east to west trending feature. Significance also, it is a crucial tectonic lineament separating the southern granular terrain into two major subblocks. The northern block, including Salem and Normacal blocks, to the north and the Madurai block, that is MGB, to the south. It is often referred to as the Kaveri Suture Zone, that is CEZ, interpreted as an ancient collisional boundary. Nature. What is the nature of the Palagat Kaveri shear zone? Here we go. Generally a wide zone with varying kinematics, often interpreted as a transfrational zone, a combination of compression and strike slip movement. It hosts varied litho assemblages, including the Bhavani Gneiss complex. Third shear zone from Tamil Nadu is Karur Kambam Painavu Tiruchur shear zone, that is KKPTSZ. First, we discuss about trend. Then intra-block shear zone with a complex geometry extending southwestward from Karur towards the Kambam and beyond. Significance: it is an internal boundary within the large Madurai block, sometimes proposed to separate eastern and western domains of this block. Next, nature. What is the nature of Karur Kambam Painavu Tiruchur shear zone? Nature of this shear zone is varies along its length, marking a zone of intense deformation and high temperature metamorphism, notably the Kambam ultra high temperature belt, that is UHT. Fourth shear zone from Tamil Nadu is A.D.M.COLLEGE shear zone, that is AKSZ. We discussed about the trend of this shear zone is west northwest to east southeast in the southernmost part of the southern granular terrain extending into Kerala. Significance: it forms the southern boundary of the Madurai block and separates it from the southernmost Trivandrum block, that is Nagarkovil block. It is interpreted as another major suture zone of Pan-Africanites, that is approximately 550 million years ago. That is a visual representation of the shear zones of Tamil Nadu. Next, we will discuss about a physiography, exact physiography of Tamil Nadu. The physiography of Tamil Nadu is a direct reflection of its ancient geological history, which places it primarily within the peninsular plateau region of India. Specifically, the southern granular terrain, that is called SGT, the landmass slopes generally from west to east, dictating this course of major rivers and the distribution of plains. The state is traditionally divided into four major physiographical divisions, each corresponding to the distinct geological setting. The first one, physiography, is a hilly region. In Tamil Nadu, we have numerous hills. We know first the hilly region, the Ghats. The Ghats are the important topics of this hilly region, because in Tamil Nadu we have Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. The hilly region. This region is dominated by the eroded edges of the Deccan plateaus and forms the western and the northern boundaries of the state. Okay, the northern boundaries and the eastern boundaries are acted as these two Ghats. First one Ghat is Western Ghats. Western Ghats are also known as highlands. Geological origin of this Western Ghats is formed primarily by the tectonic uplift and block faulting of the peninsular plateau. Western margin during the break up of Gondwana. During the breakup of Gondwana, these Western Ghats are formed due to what? Upliftment, tectonic upliftment during the which age? Mesozoic. They represent a steep continuous escarpment. Next, lithology, composed overwhelmingly of Archean to Proterozoic. High-grade metamorphic rocks of the southern granular terrains are dominated by Charnokites, that is pyroxene granulates and gneisses. Next one is chondrites, that is garnet, sillimanite, gneisses, and the associated migmatites. Okay. Next, highest peaks. Which is the highest peak in the Western Ghats? That is Doddabetta, which is located in the Nilgiri. Doddabetta have 2,637 meter height from the mean sea level. The meeting point of the Eastern Ghats, that is Nilgiri Hills, and the major structural discontinuities like the Palagat Gap and Shenkota Gap, which are major crustal scale shear zones. Next Ghat is Eastern Ghat. Eastern Ghat is also known as discontinuous series, that is discontinuous hills. Geological origin. What is the geological origin of Eastern Ghats? Here we know older and more heavily denuded, that is eroded, heavily eroded than the Western Ghats. Okay, Eastern Ghat is very heavily eroded when compared to Western Ghats. They appear as a fragmented, discontinuous hill masses marking the eastern boundary of the plateau. Lithology. What is the lithology of the Eastern Ghats? Similar to southern granulate terrain, similar SGT rocks, that is southern granulate terrain rock, mainly granite, gneisses, chornokite and chondrite, but often with more structural complexity due to multiple erosional cycles and internal shear zones. Example, Palagat Kaveri shear zone run parallel to this region. Key factors are isolated ranges. Example, Javadi, Shevarai. These are hills. Javadi Hills, Shevarai Hills, Kalrayan Hills, Koli Hills. These hills are representing erosional, resistant, residual mountains. Next, physiography of Tamil Nadu. Next point, we completed hills. Next point is plateaus. Plateaus means also known as the interior upland, that is interior upland. These are elevated inland regions lying between the Eastern Ghats and the major of the interior plateaus or interior plains, sloping gently eastward. Plateaus are sloping gently eastward. Now, what is the geological origin of these plateaus? It represents the exposed and leveled surface of the ancient southern granulate terrain basement, that is the foreland of the Western Ghat upliftment. Lithology, dominated by underlying granitic gneiss, part of the peninsular gneissic complex, with isolated intrusions of the resistant rocks forming Inselberg, that is isolated residual hills, that is mean Inselberg. The plateau's surface is often covered by thin residual red laterite soil. Okay, plateaus are covered by what? Covered by thin residual red lateritic soil. Okay, next, what are the examples here? Coimbatore Plateau, that is west of the Palagat Gap, and the Madurai Plateaus. Okay, next, the plains. Next, physiographic divisions of Tamil Nadu is plains. We already completed what? Hills, that is Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Next, the plateaus. The third one is plains. In plains, shall we go for plains? The plains represents the lower elevation regions formed by vast depositional processes throughout the tertiary and quaternary period. First, the inland plains, that is also called river plains. Okay, in geological origin formed by the continuous deposition of sediments, that is alluvium, continuous deposition of alluvium carried by the major east flowing rivers. Major east flowing rivers carries the alluvium and deposit the alluvium in this site, that is called plains. Next, the lithology. What is the lithology present in the plains are predominantly thick layers of quaternary alluvium, that is mixed with clay, silt and sand. Deposited by rivers like the Palar, Ponnayar, Vaigai, and most significantly the Kaveri system. Next, the Kaveri deltaic plant, that is covered with Tanjavur region, Tanjavur, Tiruvarur, Nagapattinam, and the other districts are covered in delta. In the most prominent of fertile build up by the rivers distributed is over a million of years, containing a deep alluvial deposits. Next, coastal plains, that is also coming under the physiographic divisions of Tamil Nadu. The fourth point also coastline, that is coastal plains, which is also known as Coromandel coast. Geological origin. What is the geological origin of these coastal plains is an emerged coastal plain formed by marine regression and fluvial sedimentation. It is geologically younger than the inland region. This is geologically younger than the inland region. Lithology consists quaternary, that is recent deposits of marine and deltaic sediments. The deltaic sediments called what? Sand, silt, clays, that is called deltaic sediments. Crucially, this region also contains patches of Mesozoic, Cretaceous and Tertiary. Tertiary in Cuddalore sandstone are coming under the Tertiary. Sedimentary rocks near the coast. Example, near Tiruchirappalli and Cuddalore, which are significant for fossil fuels. That is example for fossil fuels, lignite and fossils. Long straight coastline, that is Coromandel coast. Depositional features like sandy beaches, that is example Marina Beach. Next, coastal lagoons and the formation of terry sands. Wind-blown red sand dunes, that is terry sands also known as wind-blown red sand dunes. Next, in the southern districts, example Thuthukudi. Next, here the map of physiographic divisions of Tamil Nadu. This is in this map we know they have a Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, and also plateaus and the Coromandel coast plains. Okay. Next, we exactly study about the river, main two river from Tamil Nadu, and that is first one river is Kaveri river. Kaveri river. The Kaveri river is designated as the Dakshi Bharat ki Ganga, or the Ganga of the south. These are the other names of the Kaveri river. The Kaveri river rises at an elevation of 1341 meter at Talakaveri on the Brahmagiri range near Cherangala village of Kodagu. That is here now we called as Coorg, districts of Karnataka. The total length of the river from origin at an outfall is 800 km. It flows in a southern easterly direction for 705 km through the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and descends the Eastern Ghats in a series of great falls before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. South of the Cuddalore of Tamil Nadu, the river breaks into large number of distributaries, forming a wide delta called the Garden of Southern India. Next, the Kaveri basin extends over states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala and Union Territory of Puducherry, draining an area of 81,000 square kilometer. It is bounded by the Western Ghats on the west, by the Eastern Ghats on the east and the south, and by the ridges separating it from the Krishna basin and the Pennar basin on the north. The delta area is the most fertile tract in the basin. The principal soil type found in the basin are black soil, red soil, and also laterites, alluvium soil, forest soil and mixed soils. Okay. Next, the red soil occupy large area in this basin, exactly Kaveri basin. Alluvium soils are found in the delta areas. In our area, we have a large amount of alluvial soil. Okay. Next, the basins in Karnataka receives a rainfall mainly from the southwest monsoon and partially from northeast monsoon. The basin in Tamil Nadu receives good flows from the northeast monsoon. Almost a perennial river with a comparatively fewer fluctuation in the flow and is very useful for irrigation and hydroelectric power in generation. Around Sivasamudram are the scenic Sivasamudram falls, plunging a total of 100 meter and reaching width of 300 meter in the rain season. The falls supply hydroelectric power to Mysore, and that is located in Bangalore under the Kolar goldfields. Thus, the Kaveri is one of the best regulated rivers, and 90 to 95% of its irrigation and power production potential already stands harnessed. The river drains into the Bay of Bengal. The major part of the basin is covered with agricultural land, accounting to 66.21% of the total area. And this is the map of Kaveri river, where the Kaveri is origin and how the Kaveri through the area and how the Kaveri river end their path in the Bay of Bengal. Next river is Tamirabarani river. The Tamirabarani river basin is one of the 17th river basins having 7 sub-basins and covers the districts of Tirunelveli and Thoothukudi. The total extent of the basin area is covered within the administrative boundaries of Sankarankovil, Tenkasi, Sengotai, Alangulam, Ambasamutram, Nanguneri, Sivagiri, Veerakiram, Pulamputtu, Palayamkottai and Tirunelveli Taluk of Tirunelveli district and Kovilpatti, Ottapidaram, Srivaikundam and Thoothukudi taluks of Thoothukudi district. This basin's area is bounded by north by Vaipar river basin and south by Nambiyar and Kodayar river basin. Tamirabarani river basin comprises of crystalline rocks of Archean age on the western portion and sedimentary rocks of tertiary and quaternary age of the eastern coastal area. The Tamirabarani basin area is covered by structural hills in the west and pediplant areas of the middle and the widened coastal plain in the east. Thank you.